What's up, y'all? Hope everybody's good. This is me talking in real time, as I'm often doing, trying to figure out if there's a what's up, y'all, in my spirit. I mean, like, is there a word? But I think there is. There's something I'm experiencing. I was debating whether or not I was going to chime in on the Lizzo situation, and I was like, nah. It wasn't even meh. It's just I had my own shit to be navigating, and so I wasn't thinking about Lizzo. But I feel like I got a little bit of space today to talk about it, because there are so many moving parts inside of it that I can see, that I want us to be able to pick and name, and as we are inside of our reflections on it. So the first thing I'm going to always name is, for all the white women who were looking for Lizzo to be your body liberation mammy, and so now that she's not doing your body positive mammy, now that she's not doing the thing that you want her to do, you're canceling her. That's some white supremacist delusional bullshit. Off the break. Because you're expecting Lizzo to do something you couldn't do for yourself. You're expecting Lizzo to hold a line you can't hold in your daily life. You're expecting Lizzo to charge the way for your path to be easier, rather than you, if you are a white body positive person, clearing the way so that Lizzo's fat black ass can live in freedom. You're asking Lizzo to take on the responsibility you should be taking, because it is quadruple as difficult for Lizzo to live in her body than it is for you if you're a white person. And so if you're not clearing the path, if you're not taking on diet culture, if you're not taking on fat phobia, if you're not doing those things and clearing the way of white supremacy and white supremacist delusion, white supremacist violence, so that fat black women can live more unapologetically in their lives and in their bodies, then you're the person who needs to be checking yourself. You certainly don't need to be checking Lizzo. You need to be checking the ways in which you are contributing to the ways in which Lizzo is living and surviving right now. Get into it. Responsibility as possibility is one of the key principles of the work inside of Buy Back Black Debt and the Black Love and Care ethic. And it says that white people need to take responsibility so that black people can live in the possibility of liberation. And too often, black people have been taking responsibility while white people have been allowed to live in possibility. And I see that moving right now. There's so many white folks riding on Lizzo's, whatever Lizzo does with their body is what's making it possible for them to see a future where they too could love themselves. Right? Except that what you're supposed to be doing is taking on the responsibility of dismantling these fucked up ass systems white supremacist delusion built, so that Lizzo can be in the possibility of loving her body. But we got the equation flipped. So that's step one, is white folks trying to cancel Lizzo. Your shit is all fucked up. And you need to immediately be like, where am I not taking responsibility for the system that I've been complicit in, that then demands very specific things from this fat black woman's body, including that she be my beacon of body positivity light in the world, when I should actually be taking the responsibility of clearing that path for her. That's number one. Number two, Lizzo is human. Am I mad disappointed that she's out here, publicly touting juice cleanses, to her 6 million followers? Of course I'm mad disappointed. I'm the same way that I'm mad disappointed every time we, from our own indoctrinations, collude with systems that will kill us. I'm always sad, right? I'm always disappointed, but I'm never confused about why. I'm never confused. I'm never uncertain. Right? Never uncertain. Never confused. Of course. And the truth of the matter is that Lizzo and every other fat black femme that you know publicly is traversing a fucking gauntlet of mental, emotional, spiritual, cultural, social, political, and economic pressures to conform to white supremacist beauty standards and ideals in this world. And even when they're not trying to do that, the tools and trappings and offerings of white supremacist beauty standards are always at play. Like, you can't even have this conversation without acknowledging the fact that all the things that we call health are born inside of a system of white supremacist delusion. And when I say that out loud, all people argue me down. Argue me down because to undo our notions, our ideas about health, is to undo an entire white supremacist delusional system that has defined what health means. So even if Lizzo's like, I'm never gonna not be fat, I can't do this healthy thing, and that healthy thing is rooted in a white supremacist delusional system of what we call health, which is intricately woven into the diet. Into diet culture. And into the body shame profit complex, as I talk about it in The Body Is Not an Apology. These things are all tied together. And so, of course, am I shocked that Lizzo, particularly when we don't have a political analysis, and this is the last piece about it that I think is wildly important, and which is why body positivity is whack. Let it go, y'all. And this is for my love Lizzo as well. Body positivity is apolitical, and apolitical shit will have you continue operating in service of the system every single time. If you don't have a politic behind how you understand your body, this system will use you. The same way I talked about it in that video day before yesterday. The system is always looking for a way to put you back in your place. And without a politic, without an understanding of the system's relationship to power and your relationship to power and how power influences what it is that you do, what it is that they try to keep you from doing, and the way that you understand yourself, we will continue to be up against systems that will check us every single time. I'm not just fat in my body, I'm politically fat. Meaning that my aspiration is that liberation looks like my ability to exist in the fullness of my body and exist in the things that I desire for my body, separate and aside from systems of power's indoctrination into what it is that I believe I should be doing. That's liberation. It's the freedom to do what we want with our bodies, and the freedom to do those things outside of the brainwashing of systems of fucking violence. That's liberation. And if we can't do that, we can't do what we want with our bodies, still being inside of a system of indoctrinations about those bodies, because we're not in our free will. And I think that's the thing that we have to contend with that's complex, right? Is that, yes, the two things are true at the same time. Lizzo should absolutely be allowed to do whatever it is that Lizzo desires to do with Lizzo's body, and all people should be. And it's essential that we recognize that there is very little in this particular moment that we could do with our bodies that does not relate to and is not informed by systems of dominance and oppression and our indoctrination into them. And this is why I say that it is very little about the what we do and more about asking ourselves why. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this to be, and to be able to take ourselves through the process. I'm doing this to consider myself healthy. Cool. Whose definition of health am I using? Okay, I got that definition of where did they get that definition of health? Cool. What's the health that actually is, if I decided that health was not defined by these systems of white supremacy, how might I create a new definition of health? What might that look like? That's liberation work, because we don't know what that would look like. Not here in this culture. There are places where they do, because they're not steeped in this shit, but we are. And so I think it's really, really important for us to be thinking about that. The other key question that I offer oftentimes as we think about, what am I doing with my body and how does it relate to the larger system is, when am I aspiring to change my body in ways that the dominant culture will applaud me for? Where the dominant systems of power will reward me for. Those systems are capitalism, white supremacist delusion, ableism. Heterocentricity. Those are those systems. Patriarchy. Where will those systems reward me? Diet culture is a function of white supremacist delusion. Will white supremacist delusion and capitalism reward me for the thing I'm doing right now? And if so, then it's probably one of its henchmen. Right? So there are a lot of pieces to be with, right? The first one is, stop worrying about what Lizzo's doing and worry about what you're doing. Worry about yourself. That's number one. If you're white and you're waiting for Lizzo to deliver you to body positivity nirvana, you're completely in your white supremacist delusion, and you are abdicating your responsibility and laying it on the shoulders of Lizzo. Stop doing that shit. And for all the rest of us who are deeply indoctrinated from the times we are born into these systems, into systems of body terrorism that tell us that we need to be trying to achieve some version of health that is rooted inside of a system of white supremacy. We have to start asking ourselves hard questions. And the only way to do that is to get a political analysis. This is not just about feeling good in your body, it's about power. So figure out how you get inside the politic of body liberation. How you get inside the politic of liberation and the politic of radical self-love. All right, y'all. Bye.